Regional Victoria continues to display resilience and consistency in line with its reputation, although the overall trend in the market lately has been a bit weaker. But we continue to see good prospects for specific locations in regional Victoria, with the impact of the 2026 Commonwealth Games a significant factor. Over the past 6 months, we've noted that regional Victoria's market overall has weakened compared to the previous quarters, but has remained solid in the face of the downturn pressures which have afflicted Melbourne. Consistency of performance is the key characteristic of the Victorian market. While the number of rising markets has reduced, there has been an increase in the number of consistency markets, which means locations where the number of property sales has remained fairly steady in the past 6 to 12 months. And at the same time, there are locations which we classify as declining markets. And this means that regional Victoria is a case study for Australia nationwide. It's a very segmented market, with some rising, some steady, some weakening, and some in notable decline, all dictated by local economic conditions. Now, our latest quarterly survey reveals that across regional Victoria, there are 71 locations which are either rising or consistency markets. And amid the economic disruption that's currently swirling in the background, including high inflation and higher interest rates, this is a fairly solid performance. We've previously described regional Victoria as the market that refuses to give up, and the latest results support that assessment. The market appeared to have peaked in early 2021 and to be gradually fading after a couple of strong years, but showed increasing signs of resurgence in the first half of 2022 before weakening in the past 2 quarters. So it's a bit of a roller coaster ride, but overall, regional Victoria has been a national leader of the exodus to affordable lifestyle trend, and it continues to draw residents out of Melbourne. The big 3 of regional Victoria, which are Geelong, Ballarat and Bendigo, have been producing high price growth for the past 4 to 5 years, but continue to attract significant buyer demand because of their strong local economies and their affordability relative to the state capital. Ballarat in particular is holding up strongly in the face of downturn pressures. Of the 19 suburbs in our most recent quarterly analysis, 9 are classified as rising markets and 4 as consistency markets, with none rated as declining market, which is overall a very solid performance in the current climate. And some of the smaller regional centres of Victoria are also attracting good buyer demand. Locations which we classify as rising markets include towns like Castlemaine, Gisborne, Hamilton, Horsham, Corumburra, Mansfield and Rushworth. In the Shepparton area, Kialla and Tatura have good buyer demand, while in the Baw Baw local government area things are steady, with Trafalgar a rising market and Longwarry and Warragul both consistency markets. In Latrobe City, not too far away, Moe, Churchill and Newborough all consistency markets, while Traralgon has weakened somewhat from the previous highs. It's noteworthy that the 23 locations which we currently classify as declining markets in regional Victoria are some of the more expensive markets in the state, including places like Apollo Bay, Bright, Ocean Grove, Port Lonsdale, Port Fairy, Port Arlington and Torquay. So the $1 million locations are now struggling, while more affordable regional centres are holding up much better. And the future, we think, looks bright for a number of reasons. The first one is that the Victorian economy continues to be one of the nation's strongest despite all the disruption of the past few years. The second reason is that the opening of international borders means overseas migrants and international students are flooding back into Melbourne, which has spillover impacts for nearby regional areas. And number 3, the 2026 Commonwealth Games will be a unique event with massive impacts. For the first time, the Commonwealth Games will not be held in a single major city, but will be spread across a number of regional areas throughout Victoria. Geelong, Bendigo, Ballarat, Shepparton and the Gippsland region will all stage major events for the Games, and each of those areas will have its own athletes' village. So there needs to be major investment in transport, sporting, hospitality and tourism infrastructure to prepare for this event, which will generate major economic activity and jobs. And of course, this event will focus national and international attention on regional Victoria with major spin-offs for real estate markets. So regional Victoria, the market that refuses to give up, remains steady in the face of current negative forces and has multiple reasons to feel optimistic about its future.